One of the cornerstones of the Peak program is a little something called passion prospecting. Find prospects with similar interests to you and help turn them into clients. Joined today by Tim Bearden. Tim is a really great story about passion prospecting. Tim, talk to us about how this evolved and how you integrated this into your practice.
Well, I got in the Peak program about 11 years ago, and at that time I was primarily doing seminars to generate new business. And I was spending roughly $10,000
Wow.
per series of seminars, and we might get one or two, A clients out of that. So through Ron's coaching, he finally got through my thick skull that said, my passions are bird hunting, golf, and anything around cooking and wine. And so we do a lot of events in line with those, and you can bring an awful lot of people golfing, or hunting for $10,000.
So talk to me a little about hunting. You guys are located in Michigan, right outside
Yes,
Detroit?
yes.
Talk to me a little about how many folks you bring on a typical hunt and how that has yielded into clients.
Well, I do one of two things. I think the best way it works is to keep it small. So typically I'll call a client and ask him, who do you know that shares our passion for bird hunting that would be a good fit for Stonebridge? And ask him to bring 2, maybe 3 people. And I explain to him I'm not going to talk business during that day. I just want the guests to understand that at some point I'd like to grab a cup of coffee with them, give them a second opinion on what they're doing and their financial situation.
So of those 4 folks you bring with you on a hunt, how many of those referrals can be turned into clients?
Typically, since they're qualified that way, if they're a good fit for the firm, we'll typically get 1 or 2 out of the 3. Sometimes they don't always agree to meet, but if you keep the pipeline full over time, it really works out well.
So it sounds like the key is finding the right pre-qualified clients. And is that difficult? Is it hard to ask those clients for referrals?
Typically, no, because if they share your passion, you're getting them out and doing something that they really like to do, and we're very low key, and I think they've gotten to know us. It's not a hard sale, or as I said, I'm not talking business usually during that day. But the ideal is, if you look 10 years down the road, if you have a client base that shares your passion and you're out doing what you love doing, that's the best of both worlds.
A lot of advisors think it's about the numbers. They see a golf event and say, hey, I can get 600 people there. If I turn a few of them in to clients, great. But you're saying it's better to have small groups.
I definitely do. We used to do a bigger golf event. Now, the largest golf event I would do is 4, maybe 5 foursomes. But even that is tough to really get around and get to know them. I think it's more the intimate events, the cooking classes we've done. We've gone into A+ clients' homes and brought in a high-end chef, and they'll invite their friends over to their home. We'll bring in good wine, and the last one we did there, we converted 3 out of the 4 guests that came.
Now, you've been with Peak for 11 years. You must talk to some of the up-and-coming advisors. What questions do they ask you? Or is there some skepticism when it comes to this passion prospecting?
Yes, typically, I think the biggest misconception you brought up is they want to do a large event, number one. And for up-and-coming, sometimes, reinvesting in the business is a hard, hurdle to get over. But I was already doing that in the seminar, so it was just a matter of reallocating those dollars.
Talk to me, what's the way to get started? What's a good first step for an advisor thinking about using passion prospecting?
Well, I'm a huge proponent of another Peak concept, the advisory board. Right. So I ask my clients every year, what are some events that you would feel comfortable inviting clients into? And they help really design that. We're kicking off some new ones this year. The women on our board had said, can you do anything around gardening? We found a local high-end landscaping company that does something called cocktails in containers, where everyone brings in a unique container and there's a party during it, and then you walk away with a planted deal in whatever you brought.
Tim, some great insights today. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Excellent. For Investment News, I'm Matt Ackerman.